Well, in our present time, you have a choice. If you're going to do your communion privately, you're not going to advertise it for strangers to come in off the street. You've solved any problem you might feel is potentially there. You just don't make it open to the public on that particular day. However, if you do make it open to the public, I would strongly urge that you don't excommunicate that person before you've even talked to him. And here's the point I want to make strongly. In the New Testament, it's falsehood to believe that everybody on board at the communion was fully instructed. Paul talks about novices in the church. They might have been coming only for a couple of weeks. Did he exclude them from the communion? I don't think so. So the problem also is that if you don't take the communion because you think there are too many varied and wrong views there, then you're not doing the communion either. You're excluding yourself. You are commanded to take the communion. And I would say you should do it then, obviously, with your local brothers and sisters. Do it once a month. Once a year is too infrequent. It's not just a Passover repeated. It would be done as and when. It's a conjunction of intermittent, indefinite frequency. So you make a choice locally to do it. But if you do it, I would not, if somebody comes in off the street to your church, say, well, we're not going to give you the communion. That seems to me absolutely unnecessary, in fact, quite rude, because you're saying, before I've gotten to know you, I'm not sure you believe all the good things that I do, but I'm going to excommunicate you right now, not call you a brother. That seems to me not to be the way to go.
What about a bare minimum list in your mind that you would require once you get to know the person?
Yes, if the person's an atheist, I don't think I'd want to do communion with him. If he's a believer in some sort, believing himself and a baptized person, water baptism, of course, is essential, and he's a baptized person, you don't even know perhaps exactly what he believes. I wouldn't excommunicate him right there. I would think that's quite wrong. Again, I don't think the New Testament church was perfectly pure when it gathered as an assembly. There were novices, people of minimum. So I don't know. I'm not going to decide those things. There are issues where it's much better to say nothing, by the way, and let people work through this. But I think it's very dangerous to excommunicate anybody who shows up to your communion service. You can work with him. And if he doesn't want to stay, that's fine. But I wouldn't start by saying, you're not my brother, because hardly the way to go. If they come and they want to be part of your fellowship and they're not being troublesome, I'd let them take the communion myself, because they certainly believe that they're believers. I just don't think it's a wise thing to do closed communion, by which I mean I'm going to excommunicate somebody who's there. They're very unlikely to come back. So that's my personal view. I know people take different views of that. I would not excommunicate them right away. Don't do that. That's not the way to win them. You win them by welcoming them. They certainly believe they're believers, would be horrified to be excluded from the communion. You might never see them again. So I think I would waive that difficult situation and just welcome them and get on with it. I do think, of course, a way to avoid all that is to have your communion privately, where you don't have people coming in off the street. But each church is going to make up its own mind in there. But I've seen so much ill will, really, and frustration by too rapid excommunication. And I think that's what I'm against.